Hello and welcome to Pharma-Code. My name is Raphael. In today's video, we'll be building an expected due date calculator. There are a number of reasons why a pregnant woman should know expected due dates, and one of them includes planning ahead. So the physician and all the medical team who is in charge of her management will be able to put a whole lot of things and medical care into perspective. And so in today's video, we'll be building a very simple script on how to calculate the expected due dates of a pregnant woman. So first thing is to check our references. There are a number of references out there that talks about how to calculate the expected due date of a pregnant woman, and there are a number of rules. One is the 38 weeks rule from the 38 weeks from the conceived date, from the date of conception, and this is from babycenter.com. From hopkinsmedicine.org, there is there is a rule called the Naegele's rule, which is a three-step method of calculating the expected due date. It takes the first date of the last menstrual period, takes 3 months back, and takes 1 year and 7 days forward to get the expected due date. So generally speaking, there is the 38 weeks rule from conception, which would mean 40 weeks from the last menstrual period, and there is the Naegele's rule. So today's calculator, we are going to be building a script. We're going to be developing a script that takes into consideration both formulas. The first thing we want to do is define our main function for our Python script, and then from this main function we're going to be doing stuff, and then we only want to run this if the script is being run. So we do this, call the main function. So that makes sense. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is print out our title and instructions. So we do print, we'll print out the title, which is going to be estimated due date calculator, and then we want to print out instructions. So we say input the last menstrual period to get the estimated due date. So I'm going to be using very popular acronyms. Okay, so now that we've displayed our title and instructions, we want to receive inputs from the user. So we declare a variable called LNP is equal to input from the user, which is going to be last menstrual period. So this has to be in quotes. Okay. I thought I was using an ID. Okay. We actually need the first day. Okay, so say first day of last menstrual period. So once we receive these inputs, we want to be able to, so this input is going to come in as string, so we need to be able to convert this input into a date format so we can work with it. We also need to tell the user what kind of format we're expecting. So I'm going to put this in the bracket. We're expecting the day, the month, and the year in this format. Okay, so now that we've received, so now that we have received our input, we want to be able to convert this input into a date format. So I should be able to use the date time on in Python. So I'm going to need to import that. Import date time. So now I should be able to pass this date time using the string pass time, and then I put in the string I want to pass into a date time and the format that I'm expecting it to be. So it should be this format, which is the date, the month, and the year. Okay, so I'm expecting this variable now to be the date to be a date time format. Okay, and now I can work with dates. So we want to calculate the first formula I want to calculate is going to be 40 weeks from the current date. So 40 weeks from the current date, which is the last menstrual period date. So we could calculate a time delta, which is basically a time frame, and add that time frame to our current date and then get our date. It should be that simple. So I would say 40 weeks time should be date time delta, and we're expecting weeks to be 40. Okay, so now I can say my due date is going to be whatever the LMP is plus 40 weeks time here. Okay, then I should be able to print out my results saying the estimated due date, which is shortened as EDD, is equal to due date. Oh, we need to be able to pass this due date into a string format, and we want it to be a particular format. So I want to be able to print out this date in day, month, year. So it kind of follows the format that we've been using, right? So percentage date, percentage month, and percentage year. So if it's all good, this should work. Okay, let's save this and run this. Okay, so we have our title here. We have the instruction. Now we have first day of last menstrual period. So let's just input today's date, which is gonna be 18th of January 2023. Hit enter, and here it says the estimated due date is the 25th of October 2023. Okay, so that looks good. We also want to be able to calculate the estimated due date based on Naegele's formula. So I'm gonna try and do that now, but before I do that, I'm gonna try to clean this up a little bit. I want to put this into a separate function so it's easier to read and it's maintainable with unit tests. So I'm going to define a separate function called 40 weeks EDD, which should take in the current LMP and should return the due date. So I'm going to do this. And put this here. So we have our 40 weeks, it's daytime, this, and then the due date is LMP plus this. Our results can be here. So I want to do a return due date here. So right here, we're going to be calculating the EDD. So I can say due dates, 40 weeks EDD due dates. That's a very long variable. Is equal to this method with our LMP passed in. Then I should be able to print my result here. So is equal to this. Oh, I need to be able to format this date. Well, yeah, I think it makes sense to format it here. Okay. Yeah, just to be sure that I'm not making any errors, I'm just going to run this real quick. Since this date again. Okay, all looks good. So we have our 40 weeks EDD here. So what we need to do now is write a second method for Naegele's formula, which is going to be this. Naegele's rule. Okay. Which should take in so Naegele's rule is going to take in it's going to take an argument of LMP and then it's going to try to calculate our due date and then return the due date value. So what does Naegele's rule says? Naegele's rule says we're going to first determine the first day of the last meta period. We have that. We're going to count 3 calendar months from that date, and then we're going to add 1 year and 7 days to that date. Okay, so let's try to do that. First, let's define our time deltas. The first one is 3 months, 3 calendar months. So 1 calendar month is, we're going to approximate as 30 days. So we're going to do 3 months time so this is going to be in days. 3 times 30 days. Okay, that's 3 months. And then we need 1 year and 7 days. 1 year time is same, but here we can define weeks. So I'm going to use weeks, and we have 52 weeks in a year. And then 7 days, pretty straightforward. This time is days here, 7 days. Okay, so our due dates should be the LMP. So the LMP here minus 3 months minus 3 months, and then we're going to count forward plus 1 year and then 7 days. Okay, so plus 1 year and plus 7 days. So now we can return our due date. Okay, so right here we could do the same thing as well. We could say Naegele's rule EDD due date is equal to, we can call our function here with the LMP, and then we can print the results. More or less it's in the same format, so this is going to be Naegele's rule okay, it's going to be this Naegele's rule EDD due date, and then we're going to format that date like this, and let's see if this works. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so we have our title, estimated due date calculator. We'll input the last menstrual period, LMP, to get the estimated due date. So I'm going to input today's date as the first day of the last menstrual period, 1/2023. Okay, so no errors here. It says 40 weeks. So following the 40 weeks rule, the due date is going to be 25th of October 2023. And if you're following Naegele's rule, it's going to be 26th of October 2023. So both formulas are pretty much giving us the same estimation, just a difference of 24 hours, 1 day. So that's pretty good. In all of our calculators, we know we like to sanitize our inputs. We want to make sure that the user doesn't input the wrong dates or the wrong format. So we need to be able to catch this error and fail stop the calculator gracefully. So I'm going to define a method here called convert to date, which takes in dates, and then so what we want to do is we want to try to make this conversion. If it works, I want to try to do this. If it fails, we want to catch that exception, and we want to print out an error message to the user. So we're going to say something like print invalid date format is for the please input the date in the format. Okay, so we would be using a convert to date formula here. Then we would pass in the value. Okay. So we want to make sure this is labeled correctly. So we're expecting a date string, and then when that comes in, we convert it, we return it. This method returns the date, and then we should have the right input. So let's test this out. Let's input the right date. It works, and then let's rerun it with the wrong dates. Oh, we haven't graciously failed the script yet. So we need to import sys, and then after we printed out this, we can then do sys.exit to graciously exit the script. Okay, so let's run this. With the right dates, 18/1/2023, looks good. And then with the wrong dates, let's just put 18/18/23. Yes, invalid date format. Please input the dates in the right format. Okay, that works. Okay, so now we have our EDD calculator written in Python. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are a Python developer out there, let me know how you would have written this calculator if you were working with it. And thank you. See you in the next one. Au dabo. Bye. Au revoir.